Yes, we are live. We are live indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, as long and as much as I've been doing this, whenever you see that red shade where they tell you automatically say you don't go live, for some reason I feel a kind of thrill, a kind of jolt. You're kind of a system. However, we get something more serious again today for talk. And this is a matter of the law, not to them fiasco talk the normal. Kind of multiple something, and you not get head, you not get tail, or you not get no legal standing. What they do on this platform now for make sure say what they got multiple. Before we can't even put multiple in the business, we make sure say in the background, we don't do we check, we don't look, we look, we don't do we do. We only collect for called due diligence. After we don't do all of that, then we can now dwell into the main body of the issue itself because we know say somehow we derive some kind of authority for talk about them. Because why again? We don't look at the background, we don't do research, primary, secondary, we don't talk to sources them, we don't look at material them way germane to the situation. And waiting that tell we know say the peer then they don't review such material. And so we are confident enough, for consider and talk about them. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just like I say, very serious issues for talk about today, as usual. But this one day in a class of its own. So as today don't be the 14th of July, 2023, the time that we side as we promise na 10 past 9 o'clock. The weather is a little bit chilly today. One of my best weathers. I don't like the sun. Usai me come out boku sun today. So when the weather can turn so, I can leg up. So hence when I see me turtleneck, I'm wearing my turtleneck. Anyway, on the most serious notes today, na the 14th of July 2023. This na the TNN TV Media Empire. As soon as I can see the title already, when I get an idea what we can talk about, and very serious, we take them very serious. And so they are on a help for shape and on not touch that dial, we can write back. So massive greetings, Fambulem, once again from the TNN TV Media Empire. My name is Prince Emil Koma. I want to build some context first of all. And so for let we understand where we are coming from, where we are, and potentially usai we go. Not very long ago, I don't want to go back. Not very long ago, we had an elections. In fact, not even 1 month yet. We had an elections. The elections results were duly read a couple of days after the elections were held by the appointed commissioner, Mohamed Bangura, we duly declared the president, the incumbent, as the winner of the elections. Of course, the results were contentious. The main opposition party, the All People's Congress, as we speak today, do not accept that result today. They say the results not reflect the will of the people. In other words, the voters, them, the one that we go vote. They say they get evidence. And the ruling party, or the one we win, don't ask them, let them take the matter in a court, because that's anyway where it has to be decided. But the opposition party, they say they're not getting no trust and confidence inside the court. So therefore, they find it difficult for going to the court for redress. However, there's still the hope, say, the one that we can observe the elections, imposing them of the international community. We don't know people and the one they help with Lily Pepe, where for let we continue for put together what we call we country. Forget about the independent stock. Then they will country around. But we get people that we actually they help with for run we country, because on we own, despite all the calls, we need we independence, and etc. But for decades and decades since we get we independence, and I'm not only alluding this to Salon alone, they talk about many other countries. In fact, the entire continent, we did under this yoke of imperialism, and therefore we depend on others. The only country where be exempt then was the Arab Republic of Libya. I mean, they not be owe anybody around 1 penny, not the only country that And that in international community, we did the 6 country then. It's a crime. However, back to a country, we find out, say, the All People's Congress cannot go to court because they not trust the judiciary. This not to me they say this. This is something that they've made clear. And there are related instances in which you will say, well, they seem to have a case there. But what other action can they take? So then they count on the international community, like I've been saying, where they give Lily tin, where they kike we up. Even some of the salary disbursement, them now then people there they can pay over 50% of them. Some of we don't understand anything there. So when politicians they want to begin for mislead we, then begin tell we say, well, we don't care about these people and what have you. But not too long ago, you did care about them for different reasons. A, before you kind of power, you be rely on them. B, after you kind of power, for sustenance, you rely on them. Bursary, we still get bursary, we get maintenance fee from them people there. So therefore, when person they put food na you belly, somehow they manage for control you. But where we are now, the man don't declare the results. He don't declare say the incumbents win. The incumbents don't swear them in. In fact, the very day where they duly elect him, now in the swear him in. So he has become the executive president of the country. Remember saying executive presidency. Now we get. Having said this, people of different shades of political opinion. They say, well, he is not my president. But of course, I believe somehow it's a kind of choice and it's a feel-good factor that he's not my president. I can say this. But on pen and paper, he is the president. They conduct the day-to-day affairs of the country. They go abroad, they go meetings, they go conferences, they sign things in behalf of the country. And they get embassies them where they're the capital where they work with them. However, after they don't swear the president in, another contentious issue just happened again, I think some 24 hours ago. This was the swearing in of the parliament. The parliament, way that they can't sit down, they make law in the country. Law that we get for govern we for the next 5 years, how they see them. So therefore, it can be very important on the composition of that parliament's day. However, again, as per the results read, I must emphasize on that, as per the results read, the incumbent government and then parliamentarians, they increase their number in the parliament. So they get this wonderful majority where in politics and parliamentary language, almost everything where they want, almost. If anything will left say something, we will put out a percentage of 0.00001, we probably know will go through. But everything, academically speaking, for pass because they cannot have the majority, I believe. So they swear this parliament in. Now, if they don't swear the parliament in, members say, despite the contentious issue or the bone of contention, waiting they happen so now consolidation of power now they take place. Remember, we had the election. Country was divided. After election, normally, country can come together. Country still remain divided, but the president went and swear in, and the parliament has been sworn in. Now, consolidate, the party don't consolidate power so because now they get a parliament. But having said this, there is another bone of contention. The APC, we all understand, will take a position in which they say, listen, we don't recognize this government. In other words, we don't recognize the results. The result proclaimed are fake, false, and not get no transparency. The APC not give no credence to that. So as a consequence of that, then decide for boycott, waiting and win. This is, they will not participate in government. And leading up to the point of yesterday when the parliament was sworn in, including this program that we are having now, we find out, say, one single APC parliamentarian decide for defy the odds. In other words, the parliament where he go attend and he was sworn in, the party where supposedly they go represent, but don't say, we never take up any responsibility or participate by this government. This is an effort on we side or a sign for sure say we not accept this result, and as there's not much that we can do, the little bit we able for do when for boycott, this is exactly what we are going to do now. We know they attend nothing, we know they take up nothing, let them have it all. In fact, the country is about a winner takes it all. But then this lone parliamentarian in person of Mohamed Bangura, a very controversial figure, if I may add, decide for take up in seat. So it turned up on the day of the official opening of Parliament. And because then they go conduct this affair of swearing in, the one that will win elections, Mohamed Bangura was sworn in. He was sworn in. But then there is this controversy and the legal ambit of the law around waiting just happened so. And pretty soon we will introduce the other host, the co-host of this program, for let we dig into this and see how much of it is legal, how much of it is not legal, waiting can happen and waiting can't happen. How can they take a dig at Mohammed? Can he be removed? Does the party have the right over him now for remove him, or he don't go too far away? He either in at the hands of parliament or he did at the laws of the country. In other words, the constitution of the country. However, if I go back to Mohammed turn up the parliament, then swear him in. Since they swear him in, we don't hear boku talk of all kinds shade, color, political opinion, and you name it. All the ifs and the buts, the speculation, the gesticulation, and the guesstimation, everything we don't hear. But in reality, and this is what we want for way in on this program, talk a little bit about the official opening of parliament, but the most controversial issue is about Mohamed Bangura, one of the APC member of parliament, we turn up, defying in party and turning up and being sworn in. What's for happy now going forward is what we want to talk about. And for help me for Rob Mott Pandis today, back and forth is the indefatigable Sekou John Barry. And by the way, if I can just let you know, Sekou John Barry is a legal scholar. He's a legal scholar. So he get a legal mind and he's able to decipher and talk about laws and break them down. Well, we need to understand something as well. Part of the problem is you feel say carpenter can tell pilot how to fly plane. This is so common today in social media annals. You feel say how you go call them a street sweeper, and I'm not demeaning the job. I just they try for draw a parallel where they can one create as if a street sweeper will not sit down in a classroom for 7 years for land doctor business. When he come and come, doctor the perform operation, one tell the doctor who side for court and who side the sickness day. This is not something we will suffer from. The point I'm trying to make is the man who we get on the other side of the screen, as soon as you see, is Sekou John, and he's got a legal mind, study law, and he's got a big idea of the law, and we're going to be talking about the law. Sekou John, welcome to the program.
Okay, Famulem, thank you so much, PK, for that wonderful introduction. And Famulem, again, this is Sekou John, and then we really glad for being here today, and for make we engage because we not say we not self get for contribute through the comment box, and then we dey ask una for make una share again, una share as to many people as una come. Okay, thank you so much, PK. You don't lay the grounds, and then would they come talk about the legal ramifications of Mohamed Bangura in, if I would say, disobedience or in defiance of in party. Waiting at the legal ramifications of that. We get for discuss on that anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And family on I don't hear you know, please help for shape. But just before we go to the beef with it and the bone, I want to deal with the bone first when at the opening of parliament. Having provided the context and you know the build up to this opening, the state opening of parliament and the swearing in, I want for we look at the issues them developing into that swearing in and waiting actually happen. I shall say you watch, you listen, you hear, waiting catch your mind. What do you see? What do you observe? And what do you think? What are your perspectives about the state opening?
Okay, well, one thing people a lot of people me feel say like them in they ask question, they say since disagreement day and the opposition, like this time them don't come out with a press release for say they not get for take part into any governance na the country, like example for be for make them members them of parliament, for make them take them seats na parliament, and then also the councils. But could people be feel say, well, the government at least them for don't wait a little bit in order for see whether them for able for engage with the opposition, so that them all at least for go na parliament together and do the swearing in. But some people feel say like, okay, the decision for swearing the members of parliament is hasty. But again, it depends from which angle. But some man they tell you say no, now APC them business. If they want, then come, they want, they left. But if they find out, say more or less, save Mohamed Bangura, now just the SLPP them and the paramount chief them. And we know say, of course, any party within a power, the paramount chief them, the paramount chiefs them, like most of the times, a lot of them, I not go say them all, when it come to voting or decision making, most of the times they can dey on the sides of government. So you dey see say na like one-sided thing. Uh, but because one thing back way people let me talk about when it comes to swearing in, well some man been they argue say, well, if somebody then elect them na them various constituency or now na district block system. Once they don't elect you, then don't announce say you na the winner, you na a member of parliament. So of course some man they argue now say no, pass you take an oath. But like we get the laws them, for example, parliament get law and the Salon constitution back get in own laws with like they get what they call the SO, the is it standing order, and now the parliament they tell you say, well, except when maybe something arise when unavoidable eventualities or unavoidable circumstances happen, uh, election fulfill a vacancy in the speakership of parliament, no member of parliament shall sit or vote therein or in any committee thereof until he or she has taken and subscribed to the oath of allegiance. So what in they say now, for example, uh, no member of parliament will wanna vote for, no go take or sit now na the parliament day until he take the oath of allegiance. So well now that day some man they say, well, no, well, you na a member of parliament like designate until you take the oath of allegiance. That this na the standing order oath of allegiance, that is A1, that is standing order 1A. Now tell you so. So you dey find out say laws then they will govern everything. So they no go call you, okay, you na MP, then don't elect you, but now you only become full MP. We go able sit now then committees, now then various committees in a parliament, and for sit down even at the well of parliament, then give you seat. You they only do that, let us say, until you take the oath. When you don't take that oath day, then later now you go able to sit in at the various committees. But we see we the All People Congress then been get a meeting, then come up with a press release saying their own members them no they go na parliament. We see I think na the 54, but 53 of them like them inside. We see that draw the first be non come. Not lot of people are not surprised we Mohamed Bangura go, because one issue be non begin come up when they realize say, okay, Mohamed Bangura not been signed. So a lot of people and say no, well, then believe say in get for defy, he not get for agree to this. Well, it left to how you call them. Some man they call her a betray or whatever you call them. So despite the APC then press release, and that press release they will understand say it come after a meeting where the Knack been hold. that na the National Advisory Council of the APC, them been get meeting, then come out with a decision say, well, since they get issue with the results, of course, we know say after the elections, we know say even international observers them, especially the EU, like the US Carter Center, new in a local observer them, they all been get issues with the transparency and then thing of the results. So based on that, the APC back say, well, then say get issues, then get issue of then they not been they allow them for observe while for observe and see what in them in the input na the tally center, then na the regional center. So we see they say, well, therefore they not accept the result as far as they are concerned. Then the result not a valid one and a rigged election can announced according to the APC. So as a result of that, the APC been convey a meeting where na the Knack been convey that meeting. They say, okay, then sit down, then agree, say, okay, now we know they take part in any governance structure or of the in the count in the governance structure of the country. They know they go, they know they sit in a parliament, they know they sit in a council, then thing and day. So the committee now, for example, then get under now they go to the APC constitution itself, where then say like they get Article 21, where na meeting, voting or decisions and tenure of members of the National Advisory Council, that na the Knack. So under that section, Article 21 H say decisions of the National Advisory Committee are binding on all subordinate organs. So what
Sorry,
name
who
be
side
say?
you read from?
No, well, this na the Article 21 of the APC constitution,
Okay.
where they tell you say the decision of Knack is binding on all like groups them. For example, now, like then you know say the party get groups, then get the parliamentary groups, then get other groups them. So that any decision we then take under Article 21 H say decisions of National Advisory Committee uh, are binding on all subordinate organs, bodies, and members of the party. So now from here first, I believe say them build the one that we go on for defend the APC or for advance say, okay, this na a decision wey na the party, because na here dem go say, okay, dem go argue say dem derive dem powers for say, okay, we don Knack don sit down, dem don take this decision. So therefore, anybody, for example, including whosoever, now if dem say the decision of Knack binding on subordinate groups, then the parliamentary group na part of them subordinate groups dem. So then they argue say then the decision wey come out from Knack, e go be binding on the parliamentary group. Now let's focus on the parliamentary group, because the person wey defy that decision, dey wey dem say, okay, nobody no for go, na member of parliament wey na none other person but Mohamed Bangura. So you dey find out say, okay, dem don take this decision, but Mohamed Bangura still in go, because he say again in your, because I remember with the interview, I say because one, he dey follow the constitution and he dey go serving people dem. So in dey go take the oath of office, because you dey only take that oath of allegiance that day when you na the only when you don't take that day, at least you don't become, shall I say, a functional member of parliament. I think I dey put am so, for me own
Yeah.
convenience, because that day, that oath of allegiance, they make you qualify for sit down at the committees or at the various committees anytime dem send you in order for you for effectively carry out your own function na parliament or you do wetin dem elect you for. Because I know, of course, the from the standing order of parliament, and then you see the constitution back where e say the person wey e for take the oath before e sit down. So that mean you no go sit down no more for because dem don elect you. You no dey grab so no more. You go sit down na parliament. You get process. Anything get process and procedures. So in the Mohammed now, he don't defy. Una member, he don't defy that the Knack then decision where they say una not for go but in go. So, but waiting now na the ramifications. Waiting will come out after that. Waiting the party go do. So a very complex and a very like again a side way because in law, for example, people lawyers them can get different way. Okay, then can interpret the laws. All man can say, okay, this na so this law say. The other person they can tell you say no na so na so. Then they interpret them differently. But most of the times, again, na the judge or the person way the judge now go say, okay, no, you know what, now this based on the interpretation because then get the guide within the way legal interpretation of things, then get some basis them way, for example, the mischief rule, any law way they make, any statute way they make, it get reason why they make am. So you go take what in them call, for example, before you interpret any law, you dey take first, then get step them. But I go bring for una no the one the way I feel say irrelevant. You can interpret the law, you read them, then get literal meaning. You read that day, you explain what it mean. Then get now what in call the mischief rule. So now sometimes, for example, something been done they happen na the country, whether na bad thing been they happen. Let's say for example, this kush business. So it don't affect lot of young people them. So then go make law for control that day. So you dey find out say what they call the mischief rule. Now waiting this lawyer want achieve. Waiting at the problem we been there, where this lawyer want come address. So then thing in this. So you dey interpret that law dey with that purpose dey in your mind. For say he come address kush. So then thing in the 99 they call the mischief rule. You dey check first what in that law dey be one can address. What in the problem we been there. So then get now okay the purposive rule and the proportionate rule, other one them, but we know they go down to their side in day. But now the party get your structures. The party get your own constitutions. We'll get for come into that. But now, lots of people and they say, okay, Mohamed Bangura don't spoil the law. He don't violate his own party in decisions. So, beaucoup people be the code say, okay, the Sierra Leone constitution, when section 77, he say a member of parliament, for example, he said a member of parliament shall vacate his seat in parliament. He said a member of parliament will vacate his seat from parliament. Now, then get boku grounds them where they make a member of parliament come on 9 seats, where them for pull a 9 seats. But now we focus on two-sided, when 77K and L of the Sierra Leone 1991 constitution. But family, before I go there, I just want to tell una say we're happy for una, and then also we dey ask una for share as to many people as una come, and then una for like back. We go want for make una like. I don't know whether PK get anything for say before I go further.
Well, so far, Fambule, una no area, una don't begin to pick up the signals, so the numbers don't begin to increase. So just for add to that, una help for share. these conversations, they're very, very important. And like I say, we not just to talk about this issue, we look at various sections of the applicable law in terms of this scenario where they build up. So we're not saying a huge controversial issue. We not say it get the propensity for create a constitutional crisis. Let us not take it lightly. This now one serious arm of government. We're in a parliament. And we just don't finish election and when they talk about the healing process, there has to be a healing process. But if there should be a healing process, it means that there has to be sincerity on the part of those of us who desire a healing process. In other words, for repair the damage. There was so much damage done. So yes, this man don't take a seat inside parliament. I think the thing where most Sierra Leoneans are concerned about right now is twofold, if not three, but I believe twofold. And I share them in twofold because there are opposing views. You get the ruling party, we obviously get the vast majority in a parliament and go elect for see the APC take the seats in a parliament. So at least then go get some degree of legitimacy. Because that's very important, the word legitimacy. Not me say the government is illegitimate, but you want to be fully functional, wholly functional, and therefore everybody they participate inside a multi-party democracy. So before you go before so you may stop, I would like for let you deal with this issue because I don't want for let we left anything behind. You know, sometimes we left something behind and we'll catch up, we'll drive for court and join them so that when we arrive, we will have dealt with almost everything. The absence of APC in the first place, we know say Mohamed Bangura did that now one issue, and we will touch on that. And Mohamed Bangura is APC, but it's like when you get you picking and you deny you picking, and waiting here for happen now. There is you within the host, and if you can't handle you picking inside the host, then of course the law, the overall law in the country will take precedence over everything else. So we know say Mohamed Bangura did it. But what I be one for let you Rob Motpan is what are the ramifications, if any, and I suppose there are, if not very many, of the APC not participating in this particular government? We can talk about wholly the entire government, even though they focus on parliament, and we shall come back again and focus inside parliament, because that's important. But the question again is, waiting now you take about the All People's Congress, the disagreement with this government, and as a consequence, the action where they take, say they not go participate, waiting that they mean for the government, and waiting that they mean for APC themselves, waiting APC actually they try to achieve. Your thoughts, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, it depends on whose side you come off from. As to whether, because a lot of people in Sibo, APC go na court. So APC say they not trust the judiciary. We'll see again draw the day in the judiciary argument and counter because they make claims and then say then get cases the way they not assign to judges and then believe say again now it just more or less they already know the outcome. So because people in the say well una not produce una go produce una evidence na court. Some man even I don't hear some man they say well now if una not trust the court una for go produce una evidence to the court of public opinion. That what thing they try for say. Una produce some na social media or other side them make people then see. So, but the APC said no. Some of the APC then say, well, we'll get the evidence, but we know they give una because we not trust the system. We want for the ECSL release from polling station to polling stations result and then day before we release we own. Okay, but
so Seko, before you go forward on that same issue, there. But recently, people go say, Fambu go say, the mayor of the elected mayor, of course, refused for taking position as a form of protest. He compiled results and attach to whatever other evidence them then don't collate. The RRF form them, which are official documents from the ECSL, which she made public, then in Twitter account and other accounts them. So, I mean, this is some form of evidence that she's made available to the general public. Are you saying, of course, there is two or if not three APCs? One the way they celebrate the loss, one the way they side with the incumbent government, and the one that we feel deeply aggrieved. But in terms of the evidence, wait and say Mohamed Kone need for publish. That's one side of the story because Yvonne, who is a key member of this of this All People's Congress, they don't publish documents to an effect which amounts to evidence of election irregularity or fraudulence. I've been one let you touch on that
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah. Again, like Yvonne been say, I think if I not forget, he been talk about saying he been get about, we see where they say he get about 85%, but now again they say he don't publish something like about 80% of the evidence
Yeah.
of the RRF forms. So some man they argue say, well, this na, well, you know they talk the, you know they talk true, na lie they lie, but again it's subject to again debate. But what you they say here is now we see where then say then get. But people then they say, okay, if una no say una get evidence, why una no they go na court? But they say they not trust the court. So some man they ask them, okay, so would that then now una want for show this evidence? Would that then una want for convince say, okay, what in una feel say una get out of, for example, the one day, if not to the court, would that una feel say go able affect any decision as a result of this evidence? What you una feel say una go get out of this evidence wey una no wan show court, or but una wan go show other person, or how una wan for do this, and how una expect say una evidence go able affect anything wey una wan forget. So these are the critical questions. But what me dey try for say now, but if dem decide for say dem no dey take part into any governance again, it's their own choice. Maybe dem wan for sit down and talk with the government, dem wan for sit down and talk with the stakeholders. Maybe they are not being listened to, so they want for lay draw the attention of people, and so that them, okay, especially the authorities. And we see say the time wey dem announce say then the boycott, we understand say efforts were being made, high level, or people dem wey highly placed, wey like, for example, the ECOWAS speaker, when Mr. Mohamed Tunis, with honorable, and then other big man then at the country, according to what you understand, then we go see the former president and try for talk to them, for make it talk to the party, so that they no go boycott. So you dey find out say, I believe say then believe, the APC believe say for boycott, it go get more effect, because one, maybe then they go able force the government, the SFPP, for make them stop, say, okay, we dey ignore them cries, the opposition them cries, we go ignore them concern. So then they force them for can sit down at the table and talk with them. Or the other thing back, if APC no go na parliament, like how we see so, what in a democracy, what in a multi-party democracy or governance or anything in there, why make we get parliament, we get members of the opposition and the ruling party? What in the essence for get then two members of the opposition and the ruling party na parliament? Now for make them debate, then engage debate on issues, bills, for pass laws on so many issues, forget different, because the whole thing is now forget different ideas, diverse opinion, and for make them all contribute for pass certain laws in the country. So if you get only one party, I think say for example, around 1978, if I not forget, now the similar thing that may happen, we will understand say a lot of SLPP them by then, MPs them, most of them cross over, then go to the APC, where the only person where, if I not forget, where no being crossed over, now that power them they call manapaka. So that's able for lead, because like almost everything now being APC for make the able pass the one party system. So you dey find out say forget only one party na parliament, you dey find out say people then go get the tendency for power drunk and that arrogance and say, okay, you know what? No, do this thing, but we know say this na modern times. This not all the 1978 or 1970s. We know say that they no get for happen. But what you they try for say? Now more or less, some people let me they say, okay, now SAPP, if they're no more than a parliament, now then would I get for debate? Because debate, you dey get your opponent, somebody dey under it, dey constructively, it dey counter your argument. It dey tell you say no, this not fine based on XYZ. That other one back they say no, this fine based on this. So una go debate the even where they can do some amendments na any na the draft then the bills then before them become to law. Then you dey find out say then they debate and they argue on even the language, how for what the laws, how for do everything. Then they argue there, but certain stage they self then they vote. Would I and would I day for this? Then the voting self then vote, and before then come to one then pass certain laws. So you find out say with that you they get various views where it really nice, because that na democracy, they show you say that democracy. But if now one party day na parliament, then you get a problem, because now only one party. So it's like then the debate to do that to themselves, or now then the paramount chief then go debate. Paramount chief the way most of them now I concur, I support. You know. So you find out say the thing will look odd. And then also I believe say they affect the country in terms of like we don't hear it first President Madabio, where he be there from 2018. All the time, he be like for say that they tell Sierra Leoneans and say, well, APC been don't spoil the country in name. He don't use the past 5 years. Again, he don't go rebrand the country. He don't go like sell the country, say how now a democratic country, but you find out say with these elections, one, with the boycott, two, with the concerns them where the international community, most of the observers, they like the EU, these people are key. No matter what, how some people and they begin blast for the right now, but no matter how you look at her, they are key in our development, in developing our democracy. The EU, the other observer, the Carter Center, and other one them. So you find out, say, one, the boycotts and then concerns here. If now SAPP no more than a parliament with the paramount chief them, you find out say it's somehow embarrassing even for the president and the government and the people of Sierra Leone, especially when they say we in a democratic state. I remember where we get that seat now the UN, that non-permanent what is in the Security Council. What in the president say, one, he begin talk, he showcase how from where the world done. We in a democratic country, we don't change government from the ruling party to the opposition to ruling party. It is showcase, say, okay, based on this, we in a democratic state. But they find out, say, you not go make that kind of argument there again if what they go on so right now, he left like how he did. I dey see some SLPP supporter them where, well, I have to say it because me like for say things by their names, how they did. Some party picking them. They not care. They not even know how They not even know how for govern a country where divided. Difficult for the president and the one way they in power. They not even know that. Two, they not even know the damage where then they cause now democracy and now image outside the country. They not even know that they, because now you able to go say, okay, you dey go argue, say, but we in a democratic state, we don't change government, we don't do this, we don't do that. But then go tell you say, but oh man, that election will not just voting say whole, where then elect, then declare you the winner. One now una no more dey in a parliament right now. The opposition no dey. Why una not address that issue? And now then they back that kind of argument dey with the international observer then concerns and then observation where they make, especially when it comes to transparency. So then go say, how democratic are you? So una way in a SLPP, the owner can just go and halala say this or that. This na the ramification for the APC not taking part. It's really like it get, no matter how you look at it, you get negative effect. So man disabled na them business. I don't see some people them back, they talk about, okay, then they check about the financial aspect. Then say, okay, but no, some of the MPs them where they elect na hard up man and they not get money. So man na this, he need this money. So me this all the time I can ask myself, okay, what you make una go into politics? Is it for effect change? For bring change, development? Okay. So I know they are for argue. I know they argue for APC. They are not they make case for them. But I just they say how me think. Again, this is my opinion. Now I believe say people you forget you for stand up for something. If somebody feels say then cheat on them, then feel say the results. Again, I hold this opinion based on the EU, then concern where they raise about transparency, lack of transparency, and the Carter Center, where they raise the same issue, say lack of transparency. You understand? In the US Embassy and then so and knew them. Now, based on that fact, I hold this opinion, say if somebody in a democratic state, the key, the main ingredient, the main ingredient in a democratic elections or then in the process, not transparency. So if that they lacking, if somebody want for hold the government to account for make, because of that lack of transparency, if they take any decision, una as a political party, una get for stand up for correct certain mistakes them with the happen. We dey see some man they draw parallel, say how Christian Atop been done do the same thing, they announce result why they not don't count. Boku problem. Then they bring so many things them uh, about the past. But sadly, now country, then they use the past wrongs for justify the present wrongs. And then at the same time, like this one, so will happen. So if it go unaddressed, again, because no matter what, SLPP know they didn't have power forever. So the same thing get for happen where APC get for kind of power. Then say go do the same thing where they were don't do so. And then go they cite this one as an example. So it go tell the course now country. People we need for grow. Where we don't they practice democracy for heaven's sake since where the war done. So we need for move from justifying using okay, they say Christian Atop been invalidate police stations in Nakailao. So therefore now then they use that day or Christian Atop been say make them go police in 2012. So then they use all that thing and they for justify voting, then say like the lack of transparency. Where again I can talk them because international observers, well recognized observers, they don't say transparency be lacking. So then they use that day back for justify this lack of transparency.
So,
So how
Sekou, if I can butt in there with you thoughts on
Mhm.
this particular side of things where you did, because it's very important going forward. It's about the international community that we talk about, whether or not democratic or guarantors or democratic partners or the one that we're supposed to provide protection, here for we democracy. whichever way you put them, and that's what you're saying, it they at stake, even though some people and they try for make light of them. But I want to flip the coin. What do you think so far the international community action has been so far? How pleased or satisfied are you with it? What do you think say they don't do, or what more do you think they can do or they're able for do? Because they seem for the challenge they now openly, and at that now you they talk about. Can the people of Sierra Leone somehow the expectations, especially on the part of the APC, trust the international community because now then they want for some of the some of the actions they when they try to take or when they take now for create a spectacle for the international community for see, and like you say earlier, get the ruling party for see and change their mind about many things so that they can have a conversation. But there has to be an umpire, and the umpire in this case, now the international community. The SLPP don't damn the international community, pretend as if they don't care for them. What do you think say the international community can do? What more?
No, well, I believe say one thing in terms of diplomacy, uh, the international community, well, I believe say they will try for bring them people here together. I believe say lot of things then they go behind the scene for try for bring them together for see how best they go able sort things out. But we don't even see yesterday where the European Union I think them be engaged ECSL on because every elections then they write a report, then they make recommendations as to whose changes they believe say the government or the ECSL for adopt. And for sure say then thing in the European Union then recommendations is valid and it's well recognized because one way the president been they announced before the elections, he mentioned that he say in 2018 he say the EU then we make lot of recommendations. He say and then don't implement some of the recommendations. So meaning the EU is a recognized body and they recognize them and they respect them because if somebody don't make recommendation, you don't do it, you believe in a good thing. So the one the way they bash the EU right now, so it's either they no waiting in the talk or then just feel say because they're not party picking and then just need for this try for discredit the EU. Then begin talk about within colonial mentality or the other. So I not get my head around that because these are the people, not of us saying that today, then they still maintain the standard where them been the use for monitor elections. But what are they try for say? What I believe say go they happen right now? We see say the moves then they happen behind closed doors for contact this person, former president, and for try for reach out to the APC and try for clear the this stand block this standoff between the APC and the SLPP. And also we see where the US ambassador where he tweet I think yesterday or day before yesterday where he say them APC supposed to go na parliament and because they need for participate in the democracy. You dey find out say if APC no go na parliament, whether somebody you support or you dey against, but e get ramifications, e get negative effect on we country in democracy. Some people then they say I don't hear it some like how you been say earlier. So APC then happy about wetin dey happen so with the APC. You know, all man get some man get grudge, so e don't get opportunity for slash the APC, the leadership. Some man get issues, he get opportunity for himself for fight back. So e dey fight lot of again problems and dey between the APC. Then get serious, I believe say serious leadership problem within the APC. Wey they hamburg them, I believe. So, but we get for go now, we get for make progress. We get for go back to the constitution, for example, regarding this Mohamed Bangura. Now, I've been done they explain to una say, then get the laws, them, the section 77, we talk about say a member of parliament go vacate in seat if, for example, 77K say, if the person cease for be a member of the political party wey in ticket e use for cardinal parliament. So that dey clear. Then say if, for example, Mr. X, let's say, okay, we'll take Mohamed Bangura, because now Mohamed Bangura, he don't make himself famous. All man they talk about that now. So we go join the line. We not go call say Mr. X or Mr. Y. We will call her Mohamed Bangura. If Mohamed Bangura, we call her MB. If MB now he don't go take the oath na parliament. So if he cease for be a member of in political party under section 77K of the 1991 constitution, he go vacate in seat na parliament if he cease for be a member of in political party wey go out na parliament. Now, okay, now you dey find out say again with this system, the PR system give more powers. Okay, the people in the talk say it give more powers to the party or that. Yes, them vote for the party. But I believe say I can somehow I not see that extra power there where again it give to the party. Yes, they vote for the party, you get then get power. But I not see where they amend the constitution, say, okay, no, now this don't vote itself. Now you dey find out say in 77K now they say if the person cease for be a member of the political party wey go out na parliament or wey in ticket or in symbol he use for win for Canada parliament, if that member there, for example, one, he inform the speaker, say, me not a member of this political party, then for remove him, if for lost in seat. Or if the leader of the political party, for example, again, they inform the speaker, let's say the leader of that political party, they inform the speaker, say, no, well, Mr. MB don't, they na the party again, no, not a member of this political party, then for removal na parliament. That is 77K. But again, in 77L, because lots of people they know they talk about 77L, then say if by his conduct in parliament, by sitting and voting with members of a different party, for example, let's say Mr. MB, other political, let's say the APC, they all they go na parliament. But Mr. MB, he dey vote, vote again in line with the other party, wey not to in own political party. By in conduct now, for example, the speaker, again, if the speaker satisfy, say, okay, this guy in conduct no, okay, voting self, and then the speaker, if he satisfy, afterward he don't, let's say, consult with the leader of the party in a parliament, say, this person he always there against una party, or this not to, or then don't agree, say, no, this person no they not like deal with we party, by in conduct where they come for vote, anything like India against your own political party, it do different everything like in the opposite to the political party. So if the speaker then say is satisfied, afterward and consult with the leader of that political party, then say, okay, this person no longer, based on this in conduct, he no longer be a member of this political party, then again, then for pull up. So you find out, say, by conduct, let's say he did the other party member, then did the APC, then did it, but anything there against them. So if the speaker is satisfied, say this person, afterward the speaker then don't consult with the leader of that party, the parliament, then satisfy, say, no, this person, what he says. So then go for pull on the parliament. They come out. So now argument, the legal scholars then they back, then say, okay, arguments then they now this law. So man they say now automatic, because It's clear. They say if the person ceases for be a member of a political party on which voting self where he used for Canada Parliament, if he ceases for be a member, then automatically then for pull up. So some man say na automatic, even the speaker not get much for do. Now the only thing way for do now for just make lead and pull the man. So schools of thought then the different voting self them. But again, we go see if you read further, for example, how now you go pull somebody, for example, let's say Mohamed Bangura. MB, yeah, sorry, MB. And I maybe not get how let's say MB now, for example, now then say MB don't come out. Now not a member of the political party, but member say now a political party first. That political party also it gets constitution where I get for Kante Kuna D, the APC constitution. What thing go make them pull somebody na the APC? So now they will they come back because now we don't tell una say yes under the constitution, the 1991 constitution, then can pull MB. Then they pull MB. And I've been not tell una before, I've been not lay the premise. MB, he don't refuse the decision or whether na orders you call them or whether na decision, anyhow you say.
So, Secretary John, again, let me just pause you there for some thought and reflection. And I have a feeling that's where now Usa you did drive, but I just want to connect some dots then quickly. So, whose side the party actually stand? The party when are in front the candidates. And in all of this, bearing in mind now the proportional representation system now in the apply in this election, and this specifically being get for do with parliamentarians in parliament and other body them such as political party them, and less with the presidency. So then what are the rules around the PR system, and what it protects the APC from others them not interfering in the personal party affairs? Then get the laws, then get them the constitution, and somebody they in clear violation. Let me not say clear violation. Somebody they in violation of lay down rules, and probably not even law, but nothing when they agree on. There's a consensus. Say we are not going to participate, but then somehow they begin bring anecdotal evidence around the law of the APC. But Mohamed Bangura, MB, don't clearly defy the party. Party say nobody not for go across this line. He went. And we look at the circumstances that he will be protected by the other, using most likely the constitution. So outside this left the APC, what can the APC really do legally speaking?
Okay, yeah, now they have been the can now. So what have been the try for bail? Now, what in the 1991 constitution say, like again now two things then talk about 77K and 77L. K tell you say if the person cease for be a member of the political party where he go to a parliament, he can either like he can either inform the speaker or the head of the political party, the leader of the political party, go inform, they write letter or whatever, what is they inform the speaker. So not two way. But the other one when a L say by in conduct. For again, that side again where I explain say maybe when time reach for vote on issues, he always there against your political party. So if the speaker talk with the leader of the party and the speaker satisfied, say, no, yes, based on in conduct, he's not a member of this political party by in conduct. So therefore remove him. So we don't done that side. Now, but how somebody now go cease for be a member of a political party? Now they will cancel. I they see Boku man and they argue say, well, after all, now proportional representation, the party get more power. Because some man they bring the argument say, na party na in them vote for. Yes, I agree. Now the party they vote for, not to the individual. That's 100% correct. But the party get constitution. So me, who say I dey ask again some critical questions. Now when them pass, then count this law say okay, na district block system. Then been talk say, well, the party for just grab and remove somebody anyhow from in party or based on where they don't disagree. If the person not do what you want, or you just like if the party feel say this person not listen to them, they not go get any grounds. Then just they say okay, no, you know what, they withdraw you today. No, because the party get constitution, they get procedure and processes how for remove somebody, how for expel somebody na a part na the party. So now there be one can now we get then get section 62 of the APC constitution. So from section 59 first, then get what they call how they call them. They call and say disciplinary and grievance handling committee of the party. Then get them, then group the appeal say even na workplaces, then get committee the way they handle. If you get grievance, you get any disciplinary issue, the voting say then get committee there. So the APC back under then section 59, then self get this body here.
Whose page that one there?
Eh?
Section 59.
Now article, not a section, say article 59.
Article 59, yeah?
Yeah. So article 59 tell you about then thing, and they establish them organs, then them body, then they. In fact, then get them up to the world level, then get then what things say. So, but now would they go to section 62 of the APC constitution, then make them clear, say like certain thing then the way a member of the party what you do, then they go warrant for make them discipline you, for make you face disciplinary committee. So let's look at then thing in the then grounds then the. For example, then say if section I go read Naya for una say any member of the party who is alleged to have committed an offense, including but not limited to the following, shall be subject to disciplinary measures by the appropriate disciplinary and grievance handling committee if the allegations against such member are stated and proven by clear. Remember, then say if the allegation where then say that person they then allege say that person they do are proven by clear, cogent, unequivocal, satisfactory, and convincing evidence.
So we did talk about 62 causes for discipline, correct?
Yes. So okay. Because we not go, yeah, we don't know say first. Of course, now a big political party, the APC member, and then they argue say APC na the biggest political party na Salon. So the SLPP that believe say then say go they argue the same. But the truth is, now then two political parties are done the rule Salon from who will get independent. So you not go dispute any one of them. It depends on which one they have power. So, but what he would say here is now with the come, now we don't establish say section 77K or L go make somebody lost in seat in a parliament. But now we they can't see now, okay, how this person now go lost now in membership na in political party, because 77K tell you say if the person ceases for be a member of the political party we go to a parliament. So therefore what you get for do, you they try for establish, okay, now how this person, how somebody go lost in membership na in political party, now expelling the expeller, or okay, of course what thing go make now then expel you. So now section 62 of article 62, sorry, I don't use for section APC then article 62. Now then say for example, if the allegation against this somebody clear, cogent, unequivocal, like no doubt, no day. Now they say one, for example, if the person don't defect, let's say he say in a APC, but he don't go join SLPP. That person they then for bring am. So we not get for read all the grounds them. But would they tell you say again now we say about okay, number two say or the person intentionally or recklessly endangering the lives of other party members. Then they will know they talk about them. MB will know they talk the. Let's go now to three, for example. I think say na dey the problem get for day. Then say if the person intentional and unreasonable refusal to carry out lawful directive of the party or party officers.
Yes,
So
I think
now,
so that's very crucial and center to
yeah,
this
yeah. So
conversation.
now,
Yeah.
for example, MB don't really fall between this. But again, with the underline one word where they say lawful
Lawful
directive
directives.
of
Yeah.
the party. So
Yeah.
I mean, they ask, okay, what in the party mean by lawful directives? Okay, some man say, okay, now anything way lawful na the country or this or that. But me say what in the party say because any constitution get then get
So,
what in
Sekou John, if I can pause you there quickly, we just go to right to the beginning based on the question where you ask, Article
Mhm,
62,
mhm.
causes for discipline. I want for let we deal with this, a waiting constitute a lawful directive. This is not the party their own definition. So Article 62, which now the party in constitution, causes for discipline reads, any member of the party who is alleged to have committed an offense, including but not limited to the following, shall be subject to disciplinary measures by the appropriate disciplinary and grievance handling committee if the allegations against such member are stated and proven by clear, cogent, unequivocal, satisfactory, and convincing evidence. So, yes, we then go back now to intentional and unreasonable refusal to carry out lawful directives of the party or party of officers. The point where they try for make is Article 62 clearly say this is it. If anybody fall foul of the section they are, yeah, then therefore they don't offend the party in rule and therefore tantamount to discipline, some discipline. But there's a process involved because it still stands as an allegation as yet. So that process, what is that process in this case? So it's a little bit difficult, but continue, please.
Okay, yeah. Like now, for example, now some man they tell you say, okay, well, a lawful directive can be anything way legal in the eyes of the law. Some man they say the national constitution or that thing because now let's say I believe say MB in your own people or in supporter them will tell you say, well, in they do what in the law say because why would the constitution tell and say you as a member of parliament you for go take I think now section 83 bar or something around that where then say you for take the oath of allegiance before you sit down and now the
Yes, Sekou John again, it is true, but we for think say MB they play on the periphery of something really dangerous and it sound or appear for look very much more opportunistic. Because in my opinion, whilst you owe obligation to the country and your constituents, then we vote for you, but it also representative of Uda put you forward. If that person there is aggrieved with a situation based on waiting happen during a particular process, and this is not the party anyway, because the party I believe is bigger than the individual, and you are somehow a signatory to the party in disciplinary code of conduct and etc. etc. So if the party say X, Y, Z or decide for withdraw you need for come and can listen. But in this case, Mohammed hasn't done either. And just for remind the public quickly, shortly before this swearing-in ceremony being supposed to take place, we see outburst of emotions and challenges from Mohammed, from MB, where when you do a comparative analysis, both in the then and the now, that's before the swearing-in and during and after the swearing-in, you see say something just not add up. Because, as per my understanding, the APC been called all them people them we supposed to go take seat for sign some kind of a document. In other words, an oath of allegiance that this is the material stand where we don't take. And we expect everybody for the in conformity with the stand where we don't take. So therefore, for proof say you did in agreement, as usual, you append your signature to the document. I guess you hear say Mohammed say if they don't left before they decide for initiate that process and they far. And when they call them back, he say, but they far, but he also make we for understand, this is MB now, make we for understand that if he be there, he go sign. And after all, if they can send the document to Ram or another day, he will sign. In between then and the swearing in, what happen, Seku?
Yeah, but MB don't so say one by in conduct, he don't so say even forget for sign, because if not true, yeah, but this is not the fact. If not true, say like what he been like at times when some man they talk, they forget say people and the way they listen. Because now if you say you forget, okay, fair enough. You forget. So okay, can't sign now and follow what they say. But you say you forget, but then you go, still left, go sign later, and then later back you even go, you go take you go participate, you go side and say you no go. So what are you really argument for say you forget? So if not truly you forget, you not go who side them and say okay, now even though you not sign, but okay, you can't sign, but later no go, then you say okay, you sign, you no go, then truly then will say yes, not true, you forget. But now you say you forget, but still you go who side, you still forget, and you go who side and say make you no go. But anyway, let's go back to the topic now. For example, now we don't see section 62 of the APC constitution. We talk about we don't intentionally, you don't refuse for take a directive, lawful directive. So now I've been telling us say the one day where they support MB go tell you say no, well, lawful directive go be anything way. Okay, now some man dey tell you say that the constitution say this, but again they no go. The constitution say self-recognized political party there. The constitution say self tell you now, in self tell you say if this person left cease for be a member of a political party, this person here would pull am, he go come on a parliament. And what he make la remind you now, okay, I think I've been not tell you now why make then come under the mischief rule, where one of the reasons why make them been count this lawyer now for stop people them for cross carpets, because some man been the camp, some man been the for example, some man been the SFPP, if they go na parliament on the SFPP ticket, then he cross over na the APC, but he still na member of parliament. So what happen? I mean, they try for stop that day. Now that make them then count this lawyer. Now, una way they say, okay, the constitution say this. Yes, I agree with you now. But una not forget say back, the constitution na in it recognize the political parties then. And even the section the word on quote for now, section 77K and L. So then tell you say then they still recognize the political party then, and the political party they still get some power. But now what you they try for say? Now we dey go to the lawful directive. What is the lawful directive? So we see where we dey see a press release where they talk about article 21 of the APC constitution. They say the Knack, the decision of Knack is binding on all subordinate groups. So and now M now na part of one of the subordinate groups them, when are the parliamentary groups. So a decision of Knack for say le person no go yonder, if we go by the APC constitution, and it will be a lawful one based on that argument day. You can argue the one the way they did for the APC, then say go argue and that way day. So me they bring for no more the two sides. So then say go say no, well, but this is not a lawful directive, because na Knack, and Knack na part na one of the what is a key body there. So but let's say for example now we don't establish say a lawful directive it violates. Still again, M gets right now under section. Now they don't face now disciplinary committee. So what will be the ramifications? What will be the result of in disobedience or in refusal to obey the lawful directive of the party? So under section 63 now of the same APC constitution, they tell what thing you go face now. One, you go face then go subject them to bokutin them, but key thing now na ya you go either then go either impose some, maybe then they expel them from the party, or they suspend them, or they remove them from, if na officer from office, if na a whole other public office. I believe say we don't see what may happen well with Sam Sumana. We again, it depends on who side you come off from. So they say engage in other what is it, but this is not a refined constitution where then pass nothing. But now again they say, let's say now then expel from the party based on waiting to do so, then definitely still process and procedure then they no go expel her no more, and we believe say they no go expel her no more if full land if full foot. I believe say you go don't calculate all entire because easy for just remove it so no more. There were all na process it take. Okay, so now then tell you say it get right for appeal. It appeal, like they say any member aggrieved by a disciplinary decision shall have the right to appeal within 30 days of the date on which the decision is rendered. So you get right for appeal. You see, so if they say then they expel them, you get right for appeal. Or now be say under the section article 64, say back the decision of a disciplinary and grievance committee handling committee shall be final unless appeal in writing within 30 days of the date. Okay, yeah, that decision they can be final unless this person appeal.
So who do they appeal to?
If you appeal, then get now they only then get who side for appeal now. They say one then get you can challenge that decision in a court.
So Seku, of course, we fast the approach time. We don't do almost an hour and 30 minutes. And Fambulem, of course, from over 500, we see the number don't they descend. And obviously, we've gone too far into the program. And I want to tell you one day when they participate in the chat room, as this program is interactive. Una can see, regardless of the comments, as long as it's respectful of the platform in ethos and to each other, we don't mind for sure, regardless of which side of the coin it is. But I want to say thank you to Una. Una, let me continue for share. We come to the second and final half of the program. And Una not forget for no say this is the TNN TV Media Empire. My name is Prince Samuel Kroma, along with the co-host, Sekou John Barry. We try for make sense of waiting happened in Parliament, the case of MB, when APC sworn in parliamentarian will defy the odds against the party and will take the seat. So after the short break, we'll come back for can close the program. Thank you. Don't touch that dial. So welcome for the second and final half of this all-important program. We'll not forget we'll be on again tomorrow because there's so much for catch up with, so much news. Imagine if the money will be amassed or accumulate, they will have made a lot of money because the news so boku that if you not take them, the news stuff they left you behind. However, Sekou John, we need to wrap up this program and let me say what the APC do. We don't talk about the consequences, the law. and potentially waiting will be the outcome. And this is where you are, and maybe we will talk a little bit of theory. But this is a strategy by the All People's Congress with the aim of attaining a goal. Somebody asks, waiting at the end game of this boycott. How you see I'm waiting at the end game of this boycott.
Yeah, no, yeah, like things have been done. Maybe the person just joined because again, like what you they try for say then one well them in they say the one for rerun of the elections and other thing there. But like how would they see so country then don't then they congratulate the president and other then stuff then they say we see Nigeria or that thing. I believe say that they could be very difficult. But again, maybe then go get now for talk with the for make them sit down with the ruling party and talk how waiting at the way forward. Maybe this way will bring some changes as well and see what in then get for really do for get a better reform, maybe ECSL for the future. But what are they we get the person way I want come back to the APC constitution because they try for wrap up. Now the party, the person, the aggrieved person now let's say MB, if then decide for expel am, you get various stages where they appeal na the within the party. One before you go even a court, you for exhaust all the internal mechanism. So
Yeah.
now they say they appeal now. If, for example, if na the National Disciplinary and Grievance Handling Committee, if na then take expel you, you dey appeal na the National Delegate Conference. So you dey appeal there. So let's say day back, then say confirm say no, you know what, this person here would expel am. Still, the decision of the National Delegate Conference, that decision the way they upheld say no, you still will not want you dey go. Then you dey go now. Then say then give you right for go na the Superior Court of Judicature. They now back you dey go there now na the law. You go then go check. But now under section 78 of the 1991 Constitution, we see the Constitution talk about issues them na the yanda where then tell you say the High Courts e get jurisdiction for determine for hearing cases then for determine the question as to a membership of a parliament. So now, for example, in the ask now the High Court, if you challenge, maybe you challenge at the High Court or maybe issues then go na the court, they then go tell you the section 78 say the High Court they look at certain things. Then one, any person has been validly elected as a member of parliament. So then they check now whether this person here then validly elected as a member of parliament, or now they say whether the seat of a member of parliament has become vacant. So these are the things like very not of us saying that easy to una way just feel say no more. Then they grab today, then pull Mohamed Bangura. No, it's difficult because stages then they even when they expel them, if they appeal, if you don't appeal back, they know what itself they appeal till then go to the delegate conference for the delegate conference back from there back because then where the secretary don't inform them and what said the appeal with evidence and all thing. And when a member say back this person, then he get right for defending himself in the count evidence and all that thing in there. So with all that now, if they go to the delegate conference, they still upheld the decision where they say okay, then for pull am, then for expel am. Then you dey find out say you get right for go na the Superior Court of Judicature still for appeal. So you dey find out say na a long process, not for say na for just sit down no more and just say we don pull person and you don comot. No. So and na until now, law say you go don satisfy because as long as the person na a paid up member of the political party, you know, e must pass dem process here before he cease for become a member of that political party dey. It must be, it must pass them processes here and procedures.
That was it.
So if, for example, now una not give am opportunity, una not give am opportunity for go through them process here for appeal and other thing, he can go to the court. Like we don't see section 78 where you say again, like the high courts then say they look at, they say, okay, this person has been validly be voted for or elected, then thing in the. So when they find out say it's difficult for puller. So I think
No,
say
we're not going to do a calling program today, but I will call you back and we'll take your call. Okay?
now I believe say we don't exhaust the
No
key
worries.
thing them.
Welcome.
We don't establish the laws and both na the APC, and now this na the basis. Now this na the process you for pass. If you na APC, or let's say if them feel say then they put Mohamed Bangura, sorry, MB, this na the process where MB for go through between the party.
Okay.
You get in the informal, you get in the count, then they invite a say na the disciplinary committee, they can't defend himself, and if they decide say okay, will they expel her? He get stages. And if you exhaust all the internal mechanism, the complaint and appeal and all that thing and the before now he go na court. They grab no more back because they don't pull you na, they don't expel you today. You grab no more, you go na court. No, you get for exhaust the internal mechanism.
Okay. Well said, Siku John. Like I say, Fambulem, we're coming close. We're coming. They wrap up this program quickly. It's almost 12 midnight where we are. I anticipate say we get something like 19, 20 more minutes. Very interesting program. So we get one or two calls the way we want for take. Well, it wasn't a calling program, but of course we are interested in knowing what in Sierra Leoneans they say. So let's take one or two calls. Yeah. Let me hear waiting this board I get for say. Hello, caller. Your name and who you call from, please.
Hello?
Yes, your name and who you call from, please. Seku Ideyeri?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. This is Momodu.
Who you call from, sir?
Yeah, this is Momodu from London.
Okay, fire away, please.
Yeah, hi. You get me now?
Loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay.
Seku Ideyeri, the caller?
Yeah.
Loud and clear. Go ahead, please.
Great. Okay. And once more again, I follow the program always, and these are very interesting discussions. And Mr. Barry, obviously, I get high respect for him. Recently, I've been listening in the program we had where it been put in Moses Mambo. But I enjoy him in brilliance and contribution towards that. Well, Moses Mambo, he just make a mockery of himself that time anyway. But that's not something else. Don't want to come into that.
Yep.
In reference to this current discussion, it's interesting. To be honest, the whole thing for me is Sierra Leone as a country is at mess at the moment. It's at mess. I mean, the APC party gets a goal for achieve. The SLPP party gets a goal for achieve. That I want to. I know say Mr. Barry don't touch on constitutional matters now, 77K and 77L, but I know I can go more into that. The thing also is the questions that we want to pose is what next then? Well, what's the goal? Well, how APC go? What APC get for achieve from this? And many people don't ask this. To be honest with you, I think, and as it stands, APC, the goal here is now following the election, say this whole stalemate, this whole deadlock, call it deadlock, that they get something positive out of it. And Mohamed Bangura in behavior is not helpful at all in this cause. And we know say actually as a party, yes, there has to be that togetherness, that unity for achieve that common goal would they not set themselves for achieve. And APC get good grounds. Then they're in a very strong position. Yes, would they really say they're not really congratulate the government from different bodies here. But is that enough for the APC say, okay, no team? Let me succumb. Let me give in. I don't think so that's enough because APC, first of all, they're accountable to the people who vote them in. And the people, and if you take an opinion poll today in Sierra Leone, most people and they in favor of APC. There's stand with APC because they just don't want this wrong things to happen for repeat itself again. And this is not about APC, SLPP more. It's about the people and SLPP. Because what you know they go on, so before you ask the different quarters then SLPP say let's buy guns be bag or not move on in the interest of nation building, in the interest of this, in the interest of their own interest. But who knows what is within these 5 years? APC don't get more grounds in the parliament there. They don't get really more grounds, you know, because they are minority there already by the sittings. And APC and go for reverse the whole thing. Let me get this clear. Then one back let the election be rerun. And if they get that power, they that back in it, now that they want. And until that be, APC is powerless. And they become more powerless if they go to parliament and begin to take back into normal proceedings, protocols, but they won't change anything. Because with the composition of parliament today, the paramount chiefs they already bumped the SLPP number for past any legislations. So I think while I've been enjoying this whole discussion with go on, so I just feel say Mohamed Bangura in behavior just remind me of like what you did at the army. You take an order, and that order day you know quite well say now unlawful order than day because even at the army they get codes and conduct, they get rules, the rules of engagement. And what Mohamed Bangura do now for flout the party in rules here by deferring it completely for good doing your own thing. And that ain't all right. So what maybe in fact this evening have been just write something short small for saying now leadership get for prevail down. And this leadership get for come out from Dr. Samura himself. Dr. Samura is not a lawyer, he's an economist. But that doesn't mean that you don't get for show strong leadership. He get for come out outrightly and condemn first of all what Mohamed Bangura don't do, but you know will go beyond that for saying we expel him. Let him allow the party constitution within the guidebook to take the due process here. And I agree with Mr. Barry say he get for take a lengthy process. That's not the interesting thing about law. Law it's I mean I don't know how to describe how ambiguous it is. But for letting reach to a final conclusion here is the stages they wouldn't get for go, it can be frustrating to people and with the least they will get interest in them. So for now, the only truth I see the party for keep together, for keep the whole party together and get and let the others then believe in the leadership to say that the right path they need is that the Dr. Samura get for come out openly in the media and condemn this thing. But then allow the due process, the whip, either through the whip or so, and then let that process take its course. Mohamed Bangura will continue for the appeal. Yes, we'd expect that, but that's not the game, you know. So I think that no more one just for Rob Motpan Small, but a while I didn't get the discussion. But also, let me give you a little contribution towards this brilliant evening discussion.
Which we always appreciate. Many thanks for that. So Sekou John, you appear to have won many other fans them outside of the TNN. And Yeria the border succinctly put how you destroy somebody else na a different platform. But it doesn't come as a surprise as you're a very brilliant guy. Many thanks, Mamadou. Thank you for that. We get another second caller. You want to comment on this? Or let me take the other call quickly. And maybe we can deal with all two at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Hello, caller. Who's you the call from and your name, please?
Hey, Mr. Prince.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Barry.
Mr. Barry.
Thank you for taking my call. Calling from Washington, D.C.
Okay. How did you do today? We say we get protest day today. How did it go?
Oh, my man. We'll do a protest today. Some of we show up. Say salon with people in Lepo talk Boku, but really not talk. Some of us, when it comes to the real work, to do the real work, we prefer sitting down and just complain. And this tie into what you had to try for saying.
Fire away, please. Yeah.
Go on, as a people and as a country.
Yeah.
Yeah. as a people and a country, my observation, I don't know if I remember last week I called into a program. I was a brother that called and told Una about the darkness from 1993 while left Salon in darkness and returned back 29 years later in darkness.
Yes, we do remember that. That was how would you call it? A very peculiar call, and the accent and the narrative and the time. Yes, I remember Sekou John picked that up very well, and we talk about that after the program.
Indeed. Well, I want to thank you for that. But you see, from my parents in generations, because me na kono akomot.
Yeah.
I grew up na kono na the 80s, and we would been the grow up na kono. Pretty much, you get. If you get water, if it's smooth to run around the whole corridor town, for tell everybody say water don't come, and everybody to run for go get water because the water may last for 2 days, I mean for 2 hours, and they don't cut off. The point is, you go to salon today, even though half of the year will get rain, we still not get clean water system in our country. We still not get affordable water for the whole people in our land. You go to western areas, you see hotels, building nice hotels have enough water, but they need to put this water out like a pipe for help the people in that neighborhood. Yeah. The point is, the whole country, I mean, it's a bigger problem just a government. You know, leadership to me, come within people, not to treat leadership to grow up. You know, and I think we both misunderstand the difference between a manager and a leader. Anybody can manage. A monkey can manage. A management is repetitive. A leadership is completely different. A leadership is being bold. You know, the last 2 months, 29 years, I don't care about Sierra Leone politics because to me it's nonsense. Both political party for the last 50 years, what they don't do? Why anybody go kill themselves for a politician or these political parties? What they don't do? Really, let's look at the evidence. What they don't do in our land? Today, our land light were at 30% capacity. Water, we're about maybe 40% capacity. The economy is run by foreign entities, foreigners. Not to Sierra Leone, not to we that run the economy in our land. Not to we that run the economy in our land. Now Lebanese, now Indian, now Turkish, now Chinese, now different entity run every aspect of our economy.
Yeah.
But we as a people just to talk about and this government that, and we are not responsible. Some of it, majority of us are not participating, and we don't get bold leadership to challenge our people, and that is the biggest problem. We don't get bold leadership to challenge our people, because if we get bold leadership to challenge our people, the country will go forward. We get educated people, we get some of the smartest people. Look, look on analysis that we want to do. We want to dive in. You know, we want to take out the emotional element. We want to dive into the real issues, and I appreciate you now. I appreciate you now. Keep doing this. We need this dialogue, but the two political systems, to me, they are threats to our national security in our land. It's a cult-like personality. There is no room for dissent. The moment you dissent, you are a traitor, you are this, you are that. You know? I mean, and the last one that I want to add to this, my brother, in a democracy, to me, what I understand about democracy, the little bit I study about it, should be open to everybody. And even if you are a minority, why people say participate in a parliament, to me, it makes no sense. They didn't show me one side of the wall where a political boycott like that don't ever win. It never happened. No side. You know, but if you're in a parliament, you will get the platform for make you noise. And you'll be protected by the law. You know, you have the right, this is a constitution to stand up for the people where they elect you. You know, but again, our constitution gets so much flaws. It gets flaws. That's a different kind of conversation. But It's sad, man. It's just sad. I hope our leadership will read people like Una and listen to people like Una. We will listen to people and we they contribute in an intelligent way. We not to cause or emotion. Cause or emotion, they don't do anything in our land. You need to do anything in our land. Look at our neighbors. Look at Ivory Coast. You need to compare Ivory Coast and Salon. They just went through war and been destabilized the last couple of years. But you need to compare the two. Look inside Ghana day today. We in the 90s, where our currency was better than Ghana. And speaking about currency, we need even hear the economic way people at the top.
Yeah.
Look at our debt. Look at our debt to GDP. We pay 79% of our debt to GDP. I mean, whose money you will get to invest in anything? Yeah, I mean, but with people instead of looking at the real issues, we vote on a cult like ethnic line, regional aspect where you need to benefit anybody. Me, as I say again, Nakono Akomot, the diamond capital of the world, they not benefit with nothing in our land. The same old school that I go to Nakono, where they not get better door, better window. Now the same school is still tin up there today. Now the same hospital where they not get the essentials, now they still tin up there today. Every institution at the land at the same thing with the British left for we.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is not the capital diamond of the world. And nothing for we. And some of us don't believe now, say, we, inshallah, by the grace of Allah, my brothers, which will not platform, we will try to educate our people, but we want to build our own party in the eastern part of this country that will stand up for democracy, that will stand up for the rule of law, that will stand up for the dignity of our people, and use the resources we get in this land for advance land. While we have 17 different
political parties,
ministry there, you know, strong government, we don't need 17 of them. You know, some of these things that are just like shrunk it. You know, we got how many embassies around the world? We tendency don't fall. We don't need them. Rent the buildings. Look, bring this revenue. You know, and even challenge the diaspora. Challenge the diaspora by taxing them. If we can get strong leadership, it'll come talk to the diaspora and tax the diaspora on a monthly basis, even if it's $15, $20. Can you imagine how much revenue you will get on that day for build hospitals, schools, our own infrastructure? We're not to debt where the give we're picking them and grant picking them for the next 100 years.
Right, brother. Yeah, right, brother.
Leadership.
Right, brother. Sure. I mean, you're full of so many good ideas that, I mean, that we ourselves, we are absorbed in so much with you, they say, both Sekou John and myself. And for some reason, just because of time constraint, now email could stop you. I wish you can come on the program one day where we will get 1, 2, 3 hours for let you just share this brilliance, you know, your ideas, because they're really, really brilliant, to be honest. And you sound very much like a good politician. We're not the inside politics. This is what it is. A good politician, we're not the inside politics, but they feel the social injustices, and I can feel the power now you voice. Very real, very real. And I want to say thank you so much. And you make me feel really humble where you, or some sentiments the way you express in the platform. And we share similar sentiments as well. This is what we are here to do, for take a central position in which we're able for part with knowledge, information to people. Then we go certainly make, hopefully we leaders then listen and let we try for better with country, just like similar thing where you talk about. These are policies that you share with also. It just need for somebody in power for adopt them and make them, you know, feasible, put them out there. How do we get clean drinking water? Hotels then they around, then get so much water, but then they open them up to people that even at the adjacent area there. We just believe in one central side of things. Guma, we're not able to serve we any longer because it can't cope with the capacity. These are just facts. And we can go on and on and on, but I want to say thank you so much. Any last word?
I thank you guys. Thank you for the opportunity. Be factual, be truthful, and be balanced. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Be factual, be truthful, and be balanced. Oh, wow. I think this will be a new, here cut in our usual sort of language. Thank you so much, my dear brother, and greetings on the other side. Thank you so much. Sekou, you hear me? Yeah, you're welcome. Sekou, you hear me? All of it before the current speaker was Mamadou Mansari. Of course, you seem to have won Mamadou Mansari over with your brilliance. Mamadou Mansari is somebody that I know is an intellect, and he get these views as well, yeah, for a greater, better kind of Sierra Leone. Of course, greatly disappointed. But here we are. Mohamed MB don't seem for throw a spanner now the works. So therefore, sort of disturbing the flow of the engine. But we are really second caller. Mamadou will be disappointed by that. He is for going into parliament because parliament presents a platform where you can express your feelings, your thoughts, and challenge authority, and you are protected. The floor is yours, Sekou John, between the two people that we just talked.
Okay, thank you. Lastly, before we wrap up, I really want to thank them all and appreciate like them comment them, accept with humility, and then I thank all the one the way they na the way they comment as well na the commentary box. We really appreciate you now. When we share and the like, we really appreciate you now. So I want to start with the last brother we call from the US. You the sense the passion and the disappointment with both political parties. Like me saying this, I hold this view say then two political parties they compete for take a country backward. You dey find out like wetin the last caller say. The facility they wey been there before na Kono, for example, again, na retrogression. Even we been small na me na Falaba and Kwenedugu mandate na Kwenedugu district. Well, we been small, light been dey come on and off till all things stop. Water been dey till all things stop. So the roads them back, you dey find out say na backwardness no more. So it depends. So where APC and SLPP they say we don't do this. So sometimes you dey ask yourself what you don't really do, because if you check from Pakaba in time, the same issues them way we been dey talk about hunger. Pakaba been dey say nobody need to go hungry with na bed with empty belly. 30 day we dey talk about and 30 day we get food security issues. So you dey ask yourself what in them politicians don't they do for the past years. Now we dey hear we mother bill they say okay, this in second term now agriculture they focus on. So okay, you dey check back water business, now the same problem. Light business, now the same. Corruption, now the same. Okay, so you dey ask yourself, what in the world don't really do? Okay, you dey see the only thing where them political party are, both APC and SLPP, what in them good at now for compete for do bad thing to with constitution. You dey see what in Aneskoroma in time, even Pakaba in time, issues them in there with these MPs where the political party they write in a parliament say this person not to remember una for withdraw, and they know they know they agree. So it happened. Aneskoroma in time, it happened. And we believe say okay, this past parliament back we see for see attend them in get issue, but I don't know that day in details. But they find out say then get the penchant, then get the tendency all the time for use the bad examples for justify the present wrongs. And like one scholar been the same, for begin say little just gloss over certain wrongs. For me, I not get problem with APC. Then decisions for say okay, let's address the issues them, because I just believe say for just say oh okay, but the election don't pass, let's move on, no more now, let's forget about this thing here. So it's just like you get lost now you hate, you not make effort for kill that loss, but you just tie the head no more, you say okay, let's move on, but that loss they still did it. So anytime you pull that and kita or whatever, the loss still did it, they affect you. So this not the problem. So when Sierra Leoneans will go sit down, will correct then mistake, then wrongs, then transparency issues, and then others issues they will face in terms of governance. For just kind of say, election don't pass, let's move on. You know, even want to talk about the problems there. You know, even want to talk about, say, okay, the regional level, transparency not being there in the Italian system. You know, even want to talk about that. But then they say, okay, let this person count result, let this. But you know, USSF no say something was wrong. Even the international observers, they don't come out with that, say something was wrong at this stage. So why would not want to talk about that? Una just want to move ahead, go forward. Then the same problem happen. You dey find out say the APC been do the same in 2012, where Christian Atop say, would I get problem? Let go police. You go police, what thing they come up behind that? Okay, so you find out say 2018 issues them been there, but then say, okay, you know what, let just forget about this. Okay, then been go court, later voting self they withdraw or something. Some man them been challenge the presidency of the results of Mother Bill. Then later the matter back not being voting self, the person not being win. So issues them in there. So you find out say the same thing happened this 2023 back, but still people they want for don't let just move on. Let move on. Una no one give people injustice, but they una want for let move on. How we go move on? How una feel say the problems, the continuous, the subsistent problems they go be solved if we just they move on without reflecting on waiting don't pass, how we they correct this. But again, other main problem we me see, we politicians them key people away hold positions of trust. They are not honest. They're not honest to a country. They're not loyal. You know, section I think section 13 of the 1991 Constitution, I think 13B or something, where you say people for cultivate loyal, like if for be loyal to the country, the loyalty to the country for supersede if for they above any other loyalty. You know, for be loyal to your tribe than the country. You know, for be loyal to your political party than the country. The loyalty to the country for supersede that is section 13. Then talk about that. So, but you find out say most of we people the way they head the various institutions when it comes to certain decisions for say no to bad practices, they know they do am. Instead, what they do, then they go with then they lean one side. If na political party, if na APC, then na power na to the APC. If na SLPP, then na power to the SLPP. You dey find out say they not get mind defy the SLPP or the APC. Yeah, okay, yeah. So this not the thing. This not the problem we face in that country. Day. But we thank our brother from America. He really make a very valid point. And again, the point where he brings say the APC for don't go to parliament because na they no more then go able to talk and then will be protected and all that thing. Yes, arguably you are correct. It depends again. Like me on that side, like it depends on how you look at them. Yes, then go there, but then go be effective, especially when the SLPP don't get over 80 seats in parliament. When Paramount Chief then D. You understand? So how effective then get for be? With or without them, they go pass a bill, then go able to block certain things, or then go able to make for the SLPP listen to them. So these are the questions we need, critical questions for ask. But again, on the other hand, you go say, okay, we want to boycott again. What you want to go achieve? What you not go achieve? Some man they tell you say no, the APC MP there. Now then they lost because some man don't put it like somebody say some man don't even trust. But you na business you can do or now for car work for the country for develop. We know say of course you know go day you not get your sitting fees, you not get your allowance, you not get your pension and other thing there. Yes, but again you go put the money before than the for correct the bad things the way they happen in our country. So these are the questions where you ask yourself. But because of how waiting the APC MP then they not get money, then get this, they don't trust, they don't do this. You know, to me, I believe say for fight for something is stand. Somebody been the last time somebody been the blast for the person with me and been get issue who been get that interview now we had. Now civil society big guy we in the talk about we in a big person in a salon. So even the talk say how America not to not to in fact they know the democracy just questionable as well, not to that kind of forced and this. But I tell them say no, America get institutions in the work. The person in the advanced argument say how Donald Trump not congratulate Joe Biden, so therefore the democracy na this na that. I say no. I say, but you dey find out say the democracy they work. Now it make the man grab. If it not be if the institutions they not be in the work, they not get people them will get integrity, will put the interests of the country, will respect the laws. Like so, Donald Trump was still in a power. If not inside in Africa, if he was still in a power because then say you don't lose, he say no. Look what may happen na Ivory Coast, Laurent Gbagbo. Look what happened na Gambia. So whether the Gambian election was fair or not, now I not go deep into that. But what are they try for say? The president accept, he concede, then later he change his mind. You understand? If they not be intervene, then falls up. Enough for grab. Ivory Coast, if they not been go root Laurent Gbagbo, enough for grab. So, but you find out say America, okay, Donald Trump will see what he do. But at the end of the day, even in Vice President Mike Pence, he stand up against it. I say no. The institution then all stand up. So you find out say that people with integrity, now in the head the institutions and they will respect the laws of their institution. They say, no, you know what? This not the decision would they stand when this thing happen, so would they do, irrespective of who that in a power. So you find out say they uphold and so you will sit on a salon, you civil society, where you feel say, okay, when you don't go state house and don't go pay for some of una transport, you feel say if you can't defend, you begin talk all kind of thing, you begin attack America. America where they set standard, where we want get money, the MCC for example. Now America they set standard for we say, okay, una follow these benchmarks for make una get money, for make we give una money. Then transparency governance they can't tell we say no, we and Dandy they know for the lecture about democracy. I tell you I do. But anyway, I go now to the first scholar where now brother away in London. We really appreciate you as well. And yeah, what do you say? So I really like what do you talk so no more? What is next for the APC? What the APC go achieve? Like I think I've been on delve on anything in there. I believe say APC one, if they unite, because this is not the key problem, because they get factions them. Then get people that right now were even happy where the APC lost. When they say APC they don't lose. Then people will be they celebrate and they where they ready they say they are APC. You understand? Then get people in back where say no, but Mohamed Bangura get right. You know, then thing and they not believe because in that collective decision. You know, because a party now they say a party they talk about a political party. Now people that will get same ideology. Okay, now when get the same ideology, but again when get factions, then when they call this, each group get a name, then when they fight each other with somebody. How when feel say when get a voice if una break away? Because the one the way right now they gladdy because of Samura laws or because of waiting they happen so with Samura there. Let's say una young group back to they in charge of the party. How una feel say the other group they will una the fet right now? How una feel say them go act? Let them treat una the same way for vilify una and for undermine una. So this not the thing. So if they find out say we not get people away sincere most of the times. People can hide, say we are patriotic, we are this. But if you check underneath, money business now in the underneath. Most of the thing there, not for interest of the country, for the development of the country. No. Now, if you see say some of the argument where people in the advance for the members of parliament of the APC, they say, una sit down, una they lost una benefit, una no they get salary. So now this na the driving force behind most of una. Not to for say, okay, for come together, let's correct the mistake, let's get a transparent system where we dey elect to leaders. Not to Dande una not care about Dande. Now for just say, but let's forget about this, then don't announce the party winner. Let's forget, let's not even talk about
move on.
let's move on. So if una do that, how una feel say we will get a, we're not going to get perfect system, but how una go feel say we will get improved system in our country. So I really glad for that, brother. We say going forward, what the APC go achieve if they come together. I believe say when they're united, I believe say like how me other brother talk from America. Again, we parliament if not that one voting say no more, it go force the ruling party, and then we sit down and address and see if APC go eventually go back na parliament. But at least then go address, even we don't hear the way parental and say he say the one they will not take oath, then go lost them benefit. Then go able all for sit down say, okay, this is not part of our agreement now. Low sit down will talk. They iron out so many issues. Then go say, okay, well now the MP they will follow the party in decision, say they know they go take that oath on that day. Una for pay them all them benefits, all them thing, and they go take inside any agreement where they get for make, and una map out a way forward. Again, the party for say they know they go na court is unfortunate because the judiciary now we legal means of seeking redress. But again, that they show say back the judiciary also that a big blow to them, because if una citizen them and there were a good number when a political party they say they know they go there. So man they say, well, why make them go Samura go to the court? Well, they not tell una say if person go there in a court, they know they go. They say they know they go to the matter day. Una people and get for think widely and una think smartly. APC not tell una say if somebody go to in a court, we know they go. They say we know they go to matter. So this corruption case where Samura go, now go then go to and so he just get for obey.
Absolutely. And say
yeah. So but some man just elect for what is again, all man get in your sense, we respect you, but this nine are the thing. So I believe say the judiciary back then get for do more for gain confidence.
Absolutely.
I believe say we don't exhaust so many issues and problems indeed. If anybody tell you say Salon will not get issues there right now, that person he deceive, he don't deceive himself. Now I mean they tell some people and say for rule a divided country is difficult. But the ordinary SFPP party picking, you know that then just they go on social media, na APC them business. But the worry way Mother be worry. He is worried. That side they take down they out of the situation. Say Mother Bill no NIB no Mother Bill worry because he wants a united and cohesive society. And the only way we will get unity and peace and national cohesion now through dialogue and for talk. But if you say now no let APC them come out, we no more than a parliament. Who's benefit if you say that they go give to Mother Bill?
Yes, Sekou John. And Fambulem, my goodness. I mean, God bless we all. God really bless we all. And Sekou John, exceptional thanks that we're able for bring a program and spend so many hours, and we can go on and on and on and on because of time constraint. But you are absolutely right. Just for Kapam, because time is finished, how can the State House, the State Lodge, and I know they say they're not forget the amenities there, how come they get 24/7 electricity and government hospital now they get 1, 2, 3 hours of electricity? Why? And this is a consistent problem, and we need to address this. And I think say one of the callers talk about this. This is serious. The president is entitled to run, but in as much as in they get a government hospital where they cater to the needs of the people 24/7 cannot even have generated electricity for perform basic operation or clean atmosphere. How come? When will this stop? I mean, I can go on and on and on, and I think Sekou John has done a brilliant job. But based on all what he say, my best submission for the entire month, if not for the entire beginning of this year, is done by Basita Michael, as soon as I can see on the screen. And I'll read this and end it on this note. the woman is so day on point. I mean, long after we don't close this, some of you may have read this earlier, some of you may have the opportunity for seeing now, and some later, but I advise everybody for sit down and read this, not once, because you get for soak them in. This is brilliant. This thesis is brilliant from this lady. It doesn't come as a surprise because it's itself brilliant. It reads, Sierra Leone finds itself in a dire situation, leaving many to rely solely on prayers for a better future. Now, there you did not say country dey big wahala where country they rely on prayers. I am not offended to prayers. I know they say we shouldn't pray, but for a country for depend on prayers instead of practical action, that tell you say country they in a problem. Now, in the woman they espouse so in the very first line. The government's unwavering arrogance and inefficiency, the disorganization and ineffectiveness within the opposition, intellectually dishonest civil society members focus on self-interest, and the international community's selective attention to election fraud while overlooking governance lapses contributes to the disillusionment felt by many a people. Wow. Wow. No need for that even go into this further. Now they can say, Fambulem, una need for reread this piece. She attacked everything, everybody, because we are all somehow complicit in this descent into chaos and decaying of society. We are all civil society, government, international community. This is why I say this thesis by Basita Michael is really brilliant. Regrettably, they fail to acknowledge the erosion of the fundamental preconditions necessary for democracy, peace, and stability. Over time, they have prioritized self-preservation at the expense of supporting free and fair elections, the rule of law, and human rights. The recent polls merely serve as the latest example of democratic regression perpetuated by their collective failure. Line by line, paragraph by paragraph, this is why they read it in and where are the soccer mean. The nape na the hair na the nape of my neck is standing because I so much agree with this. It makes so much sense that we all just stay inside this for with selfish interests and forget about the main body of the thing, which na the country and na the summary. Now John just deliver so the end of this program. He's just delivered all of this, and this na in the issue. To those where they talk, like the international community, they can't see for can pull mother bio commodity. No, I've said this over and over. It doesn't really work that way. I know we don't draw examples, but some of the examples we don't deal with them in previous broadcasts, including even this one. The issue of Yahya Jammeh, Sekou John talk about is the powerful figures never wanted him. He had to go, including in powerful neighbor, Senegal. Senegal alone could have gone into that and done the job. And Senegal was prepared. Senegal did not deploy forces along the border waiting to go in. And then because of international law, it's like, no, this will amount to an invasion and in violation of all the signature to conventions and articles of international law, i.e. United Nations, the Paris Agreement, the Dutch, you name it. So for sanitize them and legitimize them, and this is the program where we get today, they decide for go to the United Nations because now can authorize them and they reach a resolution and then delegate the duties to a regional body will be already ready, which is ECOMOG. So they may ECOWAS and then ECOMOG because they get the capacity for go do the thing in Gambia being a smaller country. But that was it. This is different. The case of Charles Taylor is the same thing. Charles Taylor was a warlord. Yes, he manipulated the system and became a legitimate president because after all, he was voted for. They never went for him whilst he was an head of state, but they make him clear to him. Very clear, the prosecution officer make him clear that when you don't come up being an head of state, when you don't enjoy this immunity any longer, we will come for you. And that's what they did. Even though Charles Taylor been clever, but even cleverness can left you at some point, just like the Alpha Kans and the Victor Ford. You become an idiot at some point. Charles Taylor put all the clever mechanism into place. George Bush Jr., this note to them say, the Liberian delegation be so powerful and lobbied the US Congress and the word reached the White House. In a press conference held by George Bush said these words, and I didn't ever forget because I see it with my own eyes. For the interest of peace, Mr. Taylor has to go. George Bush said this. Now, when the president of the United States say this, you know exactly what's in the camp. But just like Basita Michael say in this thesis, none of that is there. It's about illegitimate and legitimate interests, preserving whatever the interests are. This includes the international community. If you don't understand that, because international language is different from everyday language. So within the international community, they talk, it's different from within the act or within the supposed for actor. If President Bio dance to the tune, that's all they want, the interest preserved. It's not really about the people. The people are just used as a measure or a vehicle for attain a desired objective or goal. We can't be saying this over and over. Anyway, let me don't get worked up. I think Sekou has done the job. Meanwhile, the ruling elite continues with business as usual, seemingly unaffected by the injustice, deprivation, and suffering endured by most Sierra Leoneans. And we don't say this over and over on this platform. Completely. The government, or Basita call them the regime. Regime is a little bit of a derogatory term when you call a government a regime, which means that they're not there within the confines of democracy. They are cheats, foul play, and what have you. And this is exactly what she's saying here, that the regime, they go on as if business as usual. As Sekou John also said this earlier. You make like say you want peace, but no, you don't want peace. You're pretending as if you want peace. No, you don't want it. Because peace comes with integrity, comes with sincerity. You know, for extending an olive branch, then the other person get for trust you. You know, they go call dog, or when they call you dog, they get tick now you hand. That dog will never come to you.
And again, just for interrupt you, peace will only come with a truth. When I don't say truth to other people and justice. So now
Yeah,
that you know go what you say, you know I follow talk about the wrongs the way you don't do to me. You know,
yeah, you just want to move on, and I know you highlight that many a times today on this program for effect. You know, yeah, you rub them in over and over. You not just want to move on. Okay, election this is over. There is no healing process, and you know the elections was divisive. There are people who are wounded right now, both physically and emotionally. How do you repair this damage that was done? People then lost their property because politicians then decide to be so divisive, especially on the side of government, encourage and embolden and partisan them for destroy others. And the police was found to be, physically unable to do anything. Because why? The government emboldened them, people then emboldened and come now media and threaten the lives of other Sierra Leoneans. No action was taken, neither any action has been taken, and you expect for us for just walk away from all of that. And this is what she's saying. To salvage the situation, now I think she's coming to some proposal for remedy the situation. It is imperative for both political parties and civil society to engage in introspection. Introspection means we need to look on the inside. Waiting happen. We need to re-examine we set force and agree for let we find some reconciliation. But if we not introspect and decide say some of the things that we do to we compatriot there, it be completely wrong. How do we go forward? On hypocrisy? Now the same thing with man called you just the paper over the crack. The main body of the issue is the bottom. So you just want to go forward now in paper, and then 5 years, 10 years later, the same thing erupts. How do we go forward as a nation? I mean, I go left this piece with Una. Do you try and read them? Very, very significant, very, very important for consumption, and it says a lot. And this now my best piece what I don't read so far for the entire year. Sekou John, I don't know whether you get one final word, but Fambulem, you have been absolutely marvelous. Like the last guy say we call, we need for be open, we need for be objective, we need for be clean, and we need for be sincere in all that we do. And I have no doubt that we are sincere in terms of what we're doing. And we understand people and motive and their understanding. If you criticize the other, just like what we've done here, even though there is substance, this not to emotion as substance on things that may happen, you are going to be holding us responsible and accusing us of being the other. But we know say we are conscionable people. And we know say there are people out there with the reason with us. And at the same time, we get a lot of foreign people and where they watch us as well. But it is our duty to highlight these things. It is sacrosanct. It is religious. It is civic. It is constitutional. That what we do, we for continue for doing. Because why? We intend for build a nation. We picking them or we grand picking them, but really appreciate and call them home. Sekou, final word.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe say we don't make effort, and this na part of we own responsibility for we country for advocate and talk again, enlighten, educate with people about waiting they happen at the country. So, but I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate una all the one them, the viewers, them all. We appreciate una, and then I think now so me go say bye bye to una all. But CEO, thank you so much as well. We go continue and we promise the one day we say now the people and the whole we to account. We the whole the leaders them to account. We viewers them the whole we to account. Say una need for do X, Y, and Z. And we promise say we do justice to everyone. Where APC wrong, we dey tell them say they are wrong. Where SFPP wrong, we dey tell them say they're wrong. But we no can back for say now one not. Okay, what you say APC been don't do this bad, so therefore this bad here no acceptable. No, what will be blunt condemn under APC. If it happen now back with the condemn and because politicians them the SFPP, what them in the condemn when them in the opposition, right now they defend that same thing. While the APC, what them in the defend, now they condemn us. So we are not like that. What you been the condemn, what in bad under Pakaba in time, still bad. Yeah, so now that's no more I want tell una. Then I tell una thank you. I say tata.
Thank you so much. And Fambulem, and not forget, we still get more programs. They come on our way. Tomorrow, for example, there are many people will be one call today, but unfortunately, this was not designed for be a calling program. And to those people, we apologize. But tomorrow at 10 p.m., we will be having a calling program on the same subject matter. Are we drifting into a constitutional crisis? You know, let me not pretend for one bit as if everything is okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. The party elect can pretend as if it's okay and business as usual. No, it's not. There are ramifications, and these are serious. And then things there can get an effect in the long term, not only in the short term, but in the long term, that we still left behind. Instead of progressing, we are retrogressing. And when I not forget, on Tuesday, we get Kutubu Kuroma on the program. Kutubu Kuroma will be on the program on Tuesday. On behalf, or in behalf, as the American Engo say, of the TNN TV Media Empire platform, this now Prince Emil Kroma alongside Sekou John Barry, they say goodbye for now. Sierra Leoneans, be brave, search for the truth, have no fear, speak straight, and then the glory will be all yours. Thank you until we catch up again. Tata for now.